Now, this local Castle Country sports update with Jordan Buscarini from KOAL.
Today we're being joined in studio by Cody Bunderson. He's the owner of Fierce Fighting Championship, which is making its return to Carbon County after 2 years on July 8th. Cody, it's great to get you back in today.
Thank you. It's fantastic. Glad to be back, Jordan.
It's been a long time since you and I have had the opportunity to talk MMA fights in our own backyard. Before we jump into it, I really want to talk about where Fierce Fighting Championship is today, because you guys are in a completely different, I'm going to call it era.
Yeah,
compared
definitely.
to 2021.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been an evolution from, putting on just a few fights a year down here in Price to bouncing around, a few places around the state to Tooele to putting on, big shows at the Maverick Center now, and at their sister arena up in Idaho Falls at the Mountain America Event Center up there. We're bringing in people from all over the country, from, as far, back east as we go to Hawaii, to people all over the country, top tier pros. They voted us number 2 in the Western U.S. for on a recent poll, which we're clearly number 1. No, even a lot of people do have that sentiment as far as us being really the number 1 show in the Western United States right now. We just continue to grow and grow and grow, put on more shows, the quality of the shows, the production, everything, from what it used to be. Even you and I joke about, some of the little webcams and things that we used to have to, the full on paper production that you guys, that Pat's Media are putting on for us. It's just been a complete evolution. It's a full, blown production now. And it's just blown up and growing exponentially.
Fortunately, from my perspective, I've had the opportunity to watch this grow from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And so I know if you and I are going to sit here and talk, we have to talk about some of the people behind the scenes that have helped grow the promotion to where it's at today. Because, it's truly phenomenal to work with these people. Every single one of them, I love dearly. We have a great time when we're out working, and it's a family environment. And that's part of the reason for the growth.
Oh, it's for sure. Yeah, the whole team. My COO, Zach Partridge, our matchmaking guy, Sajin, Jackson Hoops, everyone. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that don't realize, how much actually goes into the entire production for this show. A lot of moving pieces, but we've kind of really come together as a family. All the way down from the matchmaking to the production to the facilities. Things are really dialed in now, and it's been fun to be a part of.
I'm a play-by-play snob. I always will be. It's one of my first loves. And I get to work with the play-by-play crew as we're running production on the pay-per-view. And when you talk about the 3-man crew that you had this past Saturday in Idaho, Blake is absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, man.
One of the best in the game. Jason, and then you guys have added Caitlin to the crew as well. The pay-per-view broadcast play-by-play is out of this world.
It's out of this world. Yeah. Blake is so knowledgeable about the sport of MMA, and he loves it. He follows it. Again, like play-by-play guy like yourself, super passionate about it. Just the amount of information that he knows about, and the time that he puts into, knowing knowing the fighters, doing the research, from a statistical standpoint to all the fine details. It's phenomenal to listen to him. Jason, Kat, that's really an A team right there for our commentary.
So you guys have now stepped away from the Castle Country for the last couple of years. You've grown tremendously. We're 4 shows a year at the Maverick Center, 2 or 3 at the Mountain America Center in Idaho. You got the Challenger Series popping up all the way around. And while the big shows are fantastic, Challenger Series coming back to Carbon County. And let's be real, we've seen some brawls at the Challenger Series.
We've seen some brawl. It's absolutely some of the best fights. You're talking about, for those that don't know, the Challenger Series is our kind of developmental show, where we're taking mostly amateurs. We do have, 1 or 2 pro fights on there to throw into the mix, but we do have 1 pro fight coming up on July 8th here. But we're taking some of the best amateurs around that are, trying to build up their experience, their career to get to that point to become professional. And, have a lot of AMI titles and things like that on the line in this Challenger Series. But man, there's some dogfights in the Challenger Series. They're definitely one of the funner shows to watch.
No question. Let's talk about the main event coming up on July 8th.
Yeah.
Andrew Mickelson has become one of my favorites on your guys' cards. He's entertaining. He's worth the price of admission.
Absolutely. Andrew Mickelson, former BYU kicker, had a, played at the Brigham Young University as their kicker. And, when people think kickers, like you're not thinking, okay, this isn't, a tight end or running back. This dude is an athlete.
Yeah.
This dude could have played tight end or running back. Like, he is a freak athlete. He is powerful. He's explosive, and he knocks people out. He's got a future in the sport. It's fun to watch. It's fun to see what he's done. Anyone that stepped in his way has been just demolished.
And he's actually become, I want to say, a viral sensation.
Yeah.
But he picks up quite a few views, I think, on Twitter and social
media.
media.
Yeah, Twitter, social media.
Because he's a kicker.
Yeah, on the
Pat McAfee
show.
Right.
He's been sponsored by the Pat McAfee show. He's kind of become a viral sensation as far as this kicker, that's just knocking people out left and right. And, the kicker does it again. But it's a fun sight to watch. So, I mean, the price of admission is more than worth coming to see Andrew Mickelson put his title on the line.
So when the matchmaking goes into it, and I know Zach Partridge handles a lot of the matchmaking, but when you're trying to put someone up against Mickelson, who in the state of Utah is going to have a huge following based on his background at BYU, is it hard to find a worthy opponent for him?
It is.
How did you guys determine that?
It is. So Andrew and Mickelson and Chu have fought once before. Mickelson, getting the better of him, pretty well in that first fight. Yeah. But Chu's been on an absolute tear ever since. I don't believe I believe that's his only loss. Hasn't lost a fight since. He's won another title and another promotion in the state. But kind of on a much smaller, scale type of show as compared to where we're at. And he's been begging and itching and scratching, pleading for us to give us that rematch, and it took Mickelson some time, and he just kept winning, but with nobody else pretty much willing to fight Mickelson. He wants to stay active, and so we got the Chu fight lined up, and we'll see what happens. I think Chu is definitely a different fighter from the first time they fought, but it's still a big stepping stone for him to knock off Mickelson and take that title away from him.
Again, we're being joined right now by Cody Bunderson, owner of the Fierce Fighting Championship, which is making its return to Carbon County coming up on July 8th. Now, Cody, with that being said, it is a full night of fights. I mean, that's one thing that you guys always bring. The card is stacked front to back. Yeah,
absolutely. We're having, there'll be 9 to 10 fights this go around. Got a couple local people on there. Mason Sorensen from our gym. And Nakaya, we call her Kiwi, August. She's a local girl. She's moved up to Salt Lake and training at our sister gym, Sierra MMA, but she'll be making her kickboxing debut. So I'll be in Mason's and Kiwi's corner as they come to defend their hometown.
When you have an event like this in your hometown, I know it sparks a little bit of pride, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is where it started.
Yeah. We're coming back to P-Town. It rings a special bell for me. Again, this is where it all started. Lots of ups, lots of downs, but man, it was just to see where we've come from, to see how far how it's grown to where we're at. It's fun to come back here, and I love the support that we've always received from the hometown down here. From anybody that's fought for us, to our fighters here at the gym. It's a good energy down here, and crowd always brings lots of excitement down here in Price.
Before we start talking about the ticket pricing and the pay-per-view and everything that comes along with it, I got to ask you this. From a personal standpoint, let's go back 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you envision Fierce Fighting Championship being where it's at today when you started this?
Man, it's yes and no. I mean, I remember our old photographer, Rob Norton, we were talking about years ago. Like I remember I made a comment to him, and it was something about I can't remember if some fights or Bellator or something came to the Maverick Center. I was like, man, like one day, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna put on fights in the Maverick Center. You just watch. And here we are. But I mean, to see all the trials and tribulations, the blood, sweat, and tears that we put in down here, and all the hoops that we jumped through, and it was hard to envision back then, just because you people they don't realize how much work actually goes into this. I mean, it's a full-time job. That's why Zach, our chief operating officer now and matchmaker, it's his full-time job. That's what he does. And it's, for me, owning multiple other companies, it became hard to stay on top of it as well. And that's why I hired the right team to take it and run with this. And, I'm definitely still involved, but the amount of work that goes into it, the production, everything from top to bottom, it's a lot of damn work. And just fortunate to have the pieces of the puzzle to fall into place like it did has been pretty special. So
let's talk about ticket sales right now. You can grab them. I know you guys have a couple of different options as well.
Yeah, a couple different options. FierceFightingChampionship.com. General admission tickets $35. We got VIP tickets $50. We have getting our smoke on barbecue truck. They're going to be there. If you buy a VIP ticket, comes with a complete dinner. I mean, barbecue, pulled pork, the works, with all the fixins and a drink on the side. So you get a full dinner with that VIP ticket as well. You can actually buy a full 8-person table if you want for $500, and again, that comes catered with all the entire food for all 8 people, and get you a reserved table, cage side. And then, so there'll be tickets available at the door as well, pending that we're not at capacity yet and before they sell out. But I would go to FierceFightingChampionship.com, get your tickets, general admission, VIP, or reserved table, and come out, have a great night at fights. If you want to support one of the fighters on the card, please put their name in as the fighter supporting, as they do get a percentage of the sales as well.
I know that it's important to follow Fierce Fighting Championship on social media as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to toot Blake's horn once again. He does such a phenomenal job with it. You can go ahead and figure out, if there's a specific fighter on this card, we've been talking a lot about Andrew Mickelson.
Yep.
You can find everything you need to know about
everything you need. Yeah. Yep. Right off of our Facebook, our Instagram, YouTube. All of our fights are, replaying on there off now, from old fights to new fights. Anything you guys need to know, follow on social media as well.
Cody, I'm looking forward to next week. I know you are as well. I appreciate you taking out the time to stop by. Man. It's a busy time of the year for you, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, busy time, but man, it's going to be fun next weekend. So love to see everybody out there.
We'll see you then.
Sounds good.